The next time you're tempted to get upset, be offended, pay somebody back, try a different approach. I can handle this. I have the grace for where I am. I'm going to stay cool, remain calm, and let God fight my battles. That's passing the test. That's keeping your heart pure. That's when you'll see God. You'll see His blessing, His favor, His goodness on your life in a new way.
Let it go and begin to focus on developing myself. And I say to you, you're going to have people to do things to you. Things are going to happen to you. And the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go so you can get on with your life. It doesn't matter about what happens to you. What matters is, what are you going to do about it?
This happens to me all the time. Sometimes I like to let them in on what I really struggle with. And I'll say something about, something that's not completely sanitized. And I'll get this sense like, ooh, too far. They can't handle that. That's too far. I get that sometimes when I'm preaching.
See, faith is the title deed. And God gives us His promise. Everything that you could ever need in life. Believe God.
Your pride and your ego and your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career.
Nothing goes unnoticed. The mistake we make is we get into fight mode. That's not right. I have to fix everything. But trying to fix it is only going to make it worse.
You got to stay clean. You got to watch what you're saying. You got to actually check yourself out. You don't want to look like the rest of the world. You want to be different from the world.
Success is your better life for you, the design you give it, the dreams you accomplish, making your life what you want it to be for you. That is success.
What you don't do is just drift along without any purpose or without any intention because life's uncertain.
What we're trying to do is to watch ourselves, and I mean again over the massive historical time frame. We're trying to watch how it is that we act when we act properly and figure out how to do it as individuals.
Energy people that suck the life out of me, you're gone. You can't use it for fuel either. You have to get that hate. You can't move forward with hate. You can't.
There's a behavior change that's required, an attitudinal change that's required to make the adjustment for who you have to be and what you have to do.
You have to give people not only a hope, but you also have to help them. And the hope is in the optimism, but the help is in the realism.
Laughing is the elixir, and that was another thing that my father taught me. He was joking all the way up to the end. You have to be able to laugh at everything.
And so that's a real danger. It's a real danger when you start trying to use today's faith to forecast tomorrow's problems. Strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. God will never give you strength for tomorrow and hope for today. He'll give you strength for today, hope for tomorrow. But a lot of us get it backwards. So we want hope for today and strength for tomorrow.
Stop living in your head. Stop living by how you feel. Stop living by what other people tell you or what the world, they say. Who are they? Who are they? And what makes them qualified to say anything that we ought to believe them? I mean, I'm done with it. They run our lives and we don't even know who they are.
I'll say it again. Your attitude has compromised the altitude of your career. Yours could be on another level. You know better, but you're deciding to not do better. You are a lazy, unprofessional, mean attitude having.
Once you fix this person, something else will come up. Then another and another. It takes all the pressure off when you put your reputation in God's hands. We think, well, Joel, if I can straighten them out, if I can let them know what they're saying is not true, that I really am a good person, then that'll fix it. But the problem is, some people don't want to understand you.
So many times what you'll discover is that people that are saying something negative to you or hurtful towards you or causing pain to you, it's because they're hurt. Because hurt people hurt people. And literally, whoever would love life and see good days must keep his tongue from evil and his lips from deceitful speech. What a time. This has never been more practical for all of us. It's so easy to let people know what you think or how you feel, to say something negative about someone, to gossip about someone. But he's saying, stay clean, seek peace.
So I'd like to share with you the best I have learned and practiced on goal setting. First of all, I'd like to say that we are all affected by 5 factors. The first is environment. The second is events. The third is knowledge. The fourth is results. And the fifth, and often overlooked factor that affects our lives is our view of the future, our dreams.
How do you keep moving toward your goals in uncertain times? I encouraged you to set a 100-day plan for your life. Why? Because that's a reasonable amount of time that's not going to overwhelm you. You just need to answer what's the most important personal goal, I'd like to accomplish in the next 100 days with God's help.
And the first way we do that is to code it in stories. That's what stories are for. That's what great literature is for. That's why there are great villains and great heroes in great literature. Because you want to know how to be a great hero unless you want to be a great villain. And if you want to be a great hero, you can learn from great villains the opposite of how to act. And so you get incredibly sophisticated representations emerging out of that process that take on an archetypal form.
I used to have energy and all that stuff, but what happens is when you're in a horrible situation in life, that hate and anger, for some reason, you can't remember it because that place you're at is so disgusting, you forget about them. So you might just let go of it anyway.
We had this class that they designed, eat an elephant one bite at a time, self-talk, visualization, arousal control. It's all great. It's all great. It has to be a lifestyle.
And it just brought me to thinking and rethinking my life. And I believe that there's some of you that can hear me. So I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you what I feel, those of you that can hear me. And it's something that I feel that you know this already, but sometimes we have to be reminded of what works.
After we're done, we're not done. And that's the thing I think so many people never realize in success. They think that, okay, I just finished that, and they don't really appreciate nor value nor understand the return on what I would call sustained thinking. In other words, when everybody else is done thinking, if you'll stay with that thought a little bit longer, the odds are very high that you're going to get a better thought than the people that just kind of said, well, we're done.
And for me, the beautiful part is that's my natural color on the spectrum. I naturally go to comedy, you know, and when I'm looking at something, I'm always trying to find why that's funny. And, you know, it's been really, really helpful in this experience and, you know, even just this point in my life. Remember to laugh.
We kind of get in our minds that what's next will be better. We get that in our minds to a certain degree to begin to serve God with integrity. Watch this. His integrity led to his influence. It wasn't a byproduct of the influence. It wasn't when others were watching him that he started working hard.
I love this one. It took me a while to catch on, but I've got this one now too. Well, you know, the experts say, what makes you an expert? These people call themselves experts. Well, you know what? I'm an expert. I'm an expert in the Word of God and taking a life of trash and seeing it turned into something magnificent.
And yet, when things are not happening good for you, when things are not coming your way, when things are not happening as fast as you want them to happen, you blame everybody else and what they're doing and saying, and you completely disown everything that you're doing to contribute to your career not going to another level.
If you did everything they asked, if you changed and became who they want you to be, they're still going to find fault. They're determined to misunderstand you. You have to accept that they're not going to be for you, and that's okay. You don't need them to fulfill your destiny. Here's a bigger one. They don't have to be quiet for you to reach your potential.
But I can't tell you how many different times someone has come and just thrown daggers at me, said something negative that hurt my feelings, and then I got ready to go and write something back on their wall or comment back. But before I did, I would click on their profile, And just by clicking on their profile, how many of you know that before you know it, you get more than just a snapshot of who they are? You start to get a bigger story.
If you don't have a list of your goals, I can guess your bank balance within a few $100s, which he did. And that got me. My attention. I said, you mean that if I had a list of goals, that would change my bank balance? He said, drastically. That day I became a student of how to set goals. And sure enough, when I learned how, my whole life changed. My income, my bank account, my personality, my lifestyle, my accomplishments.
How do I keep moving toward my goals, even in hard times? And when people are unaware of what God says to do in how to move closer to your goal, then you tend to just forget the goal. It was a good start, but then that's it. So let's jump right in. Step 1, write my goals on a prayer list and pray daily.
The motif of the hostile brothers, which is developed in Christianity into the twin adversaries of Christ and Satan, or Cain and Abel, are the idea of the hero who thrives in the social world and brings renewal to the cosmos, so to speak, against the deadly adversary. And that's exactly what you need to know. And again, it's not arbitrary. It's not an arbitrary set of propositions. It's predicated on the observation of successful and unsuccessful patterns of behavior over very, 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 very long stretches of time.
You work on mental callousing on a daily basis, because even though your brain, your mind, like your brain isn't a muscle so much, you will lose it. You will lose the ability to suffer in the worst of times if you come out of it for too long. If you can lift 315 pounds and you stop going to the gym for a month, I guarantee you won't be able to pick the same weight up again.
I think that we have a responsibility to pass some stuff on to people that are still coming. We learn, we earn, and we pass it on. I learned a lot on this path of how to overcome challenges, how to deal with setbacks, how to deal with foreclosure or losing your job or failures.
How do they mentor me? I'm very excited about sharing this with you because I think this is meat and mentoring that very seldom any of us ever get. So I went inside myself a lot on this, and I just said, okay, how do I do it? And intuitively, how do I share with you how to really mentor people to get a maximum return for that person that you are sharing with it? And then question number 4, how do I maximize the mentoring?
Spend time with people that make you laugh. Like, that is hugely important.
The greatest thing in my career has been the constant commitment to putting something in the world of value, not putting something in the world that makes me look hot, you know?
Yeah.
So I think as long as you can stay focused on delivering your art and delivering yourself and delivering your
delivering your ideas for the world to be better.
40 years of faithfulness that led him to this point of forgiveness for everything that had happened to him in his past, for everything that had happened to him at the hands of others, for everything that couldn't necessarily let go of. But God helped him get over what he couldn't let go of.
So now you can feel better about me because I'm calling myself an expert. It's amazing how much we listen to that. They have these scientific shows on TV, and I've got an inquisitive mind, so I like to watch stuff like that sometimes. But I can only take so much of it because, I mean, to be honest, when they get into the evolution and some of these programs, I'm like, how dumb can you be and still breathe?
You know better, but you don't want to do better. This is uncomfortable, but I'm telling y'all the truth. Your boss needs a cigar with a personal letter. This week, he does. Your boss needs an invite to lunch, or you need to tell your boss, I'm gonna treat you to lunch. Your boss needs his ego stroked, and he needs to understand that you're a new person.
They may keep spreading lies, slandering, putting you in a bad light, but they cannot stop your purpose. They don't have that much power. If you don't understand this principle, you live upset, mad at them, thinking of ways you can shut them down. That's not your job. Your job is to guard your heart. Don't let the offense, the bitterness, the poison get in you.
But I want to stay clean in all of this. You know, we live in a funny time right now where because of the internet, people can say whatever they want, whenever they want. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, like, sometimes people start writing comments on my Instagram, and I wish I could say that I just never pay attention to any of it, and I just rise above it, and I walk over the comments. I wish that was my testimony always, but it's not.
He asked me if he could see my current list of goals. He said, let me see your list of goals, and let's go over them and talk about them. Maybe that's the best way I can help you right now. And I said, I don't have a list. He said, well, is it out in the car or at home somewhere? I said, no, sir. I don't have a list anywhere. He said, well, young man, that's where we better start.
If you've never put your goals on paper, I just have to be honest with you, you're not really serious about them. On the other hand, vague thoughts become specific goals when they pass through the filter of your lips and your fingertips. Your lips and your fingertips. If you can write down what your goal is, and you can say what your goal is in a sentence, then it's going to be pretty clear.
Once you have drama and literature, you can learn from drama and literature and alter how you behave, and your ethic becomes portable. And then what happens after that is that thinkers who now have both the behavioral strata and the representational strata in front of them, right? The procedural ethic, the behavioral ethic, plus the storied representation, step one step back from that, especially after it's written down.
You're going to find peace from going to war with yourself, because we all got people look at me. The reason why my story resonates with people, because I don't hide. I'll tell you exactly who the fuck I am. I will admit to it. People are great at hiding. So they want to just find peace. No, you got to take your shit, fix whatever's in you. Don't just shove it under the rug. Fix it, and then you'll find some peace later.
If those little lies are not actually attacked with God's truth, what happens is slowly but surely we find ourselves becoming bound, and we begin to have things we call strongholds in our life.
Every person may not treat us right. Our plans may not stay on schedule. There may be some bumps in the road, things that we didn't see coming. If you're only going to enjoy the day if your plans work out, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
I like what you just said, and you are right, and I had done that. Telling God what to do is not praying, and it's exactly right. We give God our grocery list like he's Instacart.
We can talk about making decisions in general, but I want to talk to you specifically tonight about making your own decisions and not allowing other people to make your decisions for you.
For some reason in your mind, you associate dysfunction with success. You know to do better, She don't want to do better. Self-sabotage, self-defeat is real.
I learned a lot, and I built a career on disruptions because life is full of disruptions. And you learn, you earn. I earned a lot from what I learned. When I'm speaking, when I'm motivating people, when I'm lifting them up, that's all I think about. That's all that I want to do.
Here are the questions. Number one, who mentors me? That's very important. It's not only what they say, but who says it. Now, all four of these questions I'm going to come back and teach on. Number two, when do they mentor me? And the reason, obviously, that question is there is because timing is very important. And there are times when we're more receptive to mentoring than others. For example, during a crisis, we're much more receptive to what leaders have to say.
If there was one concept that I would suggest to people to take a daily confrontation with, is fear. The problem with fear is that it lies, right? So fear tells you, hey, you know, if you say that to that girl, she's going to know she has you, you know, and she'll never really be attracted to you. How we get her is when she walks by, ignore her.